What are we lacking in our church right now? And there's always room to improve, right? There's always room to move forward. So I was thinking about the pastoral ministry and pastoral care. I've watched as literally hundreds of people have met, they've encouraged, they pray, they're building up. There's lots of ministry that is going on, and there's always an avenue. If you're struggling, if there's something that's going on and you need pastoral care, someone, we are growing in such a way to have a heart for each other that there is movement that way. There's pastoral care that's happening, and we're going to need way more, right? As people are going to come to the church and there's brokenness and hurt and didn't grow up in maybe a great family and they join the family of God, there's going to be more, but we have pastoral care at some level. Can you see that? We have teaching in the church. We spend a lot of time in the teaching side. Every weekend we do this. And we have podcasts and sermons. In fact, many would suggest that we have teaching overload. There's so much that's going on. There's no shortage of teaching, but perhaps, again, like I was praying, teaching to obey is maybe missing, and then the action of the body of Christ in increasing measure. I think the body of Christ is doing some marvelous things within these walls as well, or within the people that are here. But it's an area that teaching is there. We have the prophetic. Prophetic, it's starting. We don't do lots and lots of it, but people are learning to hear the voice of the Lord. And when they gather to meet and pray, they're hearing, they're sharing. People are growing in the giftedness of the prophetic. We have our Friday night prayer nights, and people are coming, and we're starting to see more and more often that people are laying on of hands, and God gives a vision or a revelation, and they share it, and there's the beginning of prophecy. And that was really intentional to begin Friday nights as a place for these gifts to be able to form. Every week we had massive amounts of time, 4 or 5 hours, just to be here and allow the Lord to work. But the two that I got stuck on, which I was like, I'm not sure where and how much it's activated, is the apostolic and the evangelism. I think there might be a lack here, or maybe the Lord is saying, maybe now it's time. And I have thoughts about this, and I'm not sure they're fully accurate, but you will be given an opportunity to get into my head a little bit more. I don't think there's a shortage of ideas. I think we got piles of ideas. Vision is not anything that I personally lack, nor other people. There's lots of that's going on. But to see a movement where the kingdom of heaven goes out of this place and people who have not encountered the kingdom of heaven encounter the kingdom. Like movement where it's not just believers getting together, but now those who don't know him encounter the marvelous love of Christ, where their lives are being changed, where people are coming into the knowledge of who he is. And I think we've dabbled in it some. But how do we increase this, the sharing of our faith? I've maybe thought for a long time that we shouldn't dabble into evangelism or vision or anything outside of this until we've created a bit of a foundation, which is likely true. But actually, I think there's a significant sect of the church, those that are maybe in this category, who flounder and are unsure where is their place when it comes to outreach, evangelism, or the apostolic or vision. Where's their place? And I'm not sure if we dedicate the entirety of the gathering of church together to the pastoral and to teaching and prophetic, if that is going to capture everyone when we have people that movers or shakers, or they're people who want to take things and pioneer and begin. And I think what we've done is we've sort of said, church, you need to do it all. We hired you, pastor. We don't actually say this, but I think in thought, we hired you, pastor. That is your job to do it, and we'll do the other parts. And I don't think that's true. I think my job is to equip the saints to do the work. And your job is to use your gift in the body of Christ. And some of you have a gift of the apostolic and or evangelism, and you're uncertain what to do with it. And so we say to you, yeah, just go on the street and tell people about Jesus. But it's just not that satisfactory, because you want to see something change. Like you want to see, I want to see Fort Garry become transformed in some way. For years I've said, whatever area we're in, I want every person that lives within walking distance of Anchor Point. Now, I want it in your areas too. I just have to narrow it. Every person that lives within walking distance of Anchor Point to have the opportunity to be in a close relationship with someone who's passionate about Jesus. That's it. I don't need them all saved, although I would love it, but I want everyone to have an opportunity to have a close friendship with someone who's madly in love with Jesus.